Hello, my name is Peter. Have you ever tried to make your car or your industrial equipment work longer, more cost-effective and more reliable? Today I want to show you a very special product called Megalon, which can be a solution. The Megalon product line is a part of a so-called fourth generation of smart lubricants, which do not improve the chemical or physical properties of the oil, but work directly on the contact surfaces of the metals. The surface of the metal is made polished and obtains a much better friction profile. Of course, this will also reduce the wear and improve the durability. They are called smart lubricants because it is not important to what oil they are added. The oil works purely as a carrier. Therefore, they may be added to the mineral, semi-synthetic or full synthetic oil. The only oil in which the use of these additives needs to be considered is the polyglycolic oil, which is special synthetic-based oil to which there are special additives. The Megalon creates a special metal organic layer between the contact surfaces of the metals and works there as a protective shield. This is a significant advantage for your machine or car because it is lubricated immediately after start. It also lowers the energy consumption, what is logical, because if we lower the friction, then we will also lower the effort the machine or engine needs to work. But even this is not the main saving. The most important thing is that the Megalon significantly reduces the attrition, and that leads to lower maintenance costs and much less repairs. If you would like to learn more about the historical background of the development of these smart lubricants, please visit our page. Let's now go over to the practical part of our presentation. This machine you can see here is a simple variant of a more complicated laboratory testing machine. It consists of an electric motor which drives this axle. On the end of this axle there is an outer bearing ring which rotates. We will generate friction by pushing this opposite part against the bearing ring, and we will try to stop the ring from rotating. This is what we will do. Under several types of condition, we will constantly check the power applied to the bearing ring in kilograms, the power consumption in ampere, and the attrition, which we will see on this opposite part. The condition number one is a so-called dry test. We want to see how much power we need to apply, how high the power consumption will be, and how the attrition will look like if we don't use any lubricant. We see that the machine got jammed after applying 5 kg of power. Its power consumption was 8 ampere, and now let's see how the opposite part will look like. You can see that the opposite part has been abraded and parts of it stayed even on the outer bearing ring. This we need to clean, so the following testing conditions are not affected. The outer bearing ring has been cleaned, and now we need to turn the opposite part to a non-abraded spot so we can compare the attrition of all testing conditions. Under condition number 2, we will use oil only. Like I already mentioned, it is not important to which oil Megalon is added to, so I have here some semi-synthetic oil from the nearest gas station to perform this test. We add 7.5 ml and fix the oil tap to the machine. can see that the bearing ring is being lubricated properly. Now, when we start to push the opposing part against the bearing ring, we see that the machine got jammed after about 7 kg of power applied. It consumed 8 ampere. And now let's check the opposite part. Next to the first condition, we can see the attrition caused by condition number 2. We turn the opposite part again to create a new non-abraded spot. Now, to simulate the real life, we won't clean the outer ring and go on to condition number 3. We will add 10% of Megalon to the oil filling. Since we added 7.5 milliliters of oil, we need to add 0.75 milliliter of Megalon to hold the proportion. Now let's perform the test again. For Megalon, it is ideal to have some time to incorporate into the metal. In the case of this machine, it is about 10 minutes. And for example, in the case of a car, it's about 500 kilometers. We don't have time for this now, so I try to make the test a little faster. We see that the machine is starting to lose noise. That's the first signal that the Megalon starts to incorporate. We see that the machine didn't get jammed at all, even though we applied all measurable power. Its consumption stayed very constant and low, but let's see what happened to the opposing part. Even though we applied several times that much power as before, the abrasion is much lower than under previous conditions. You can see that Megalon can significantly reduce the friction and abrasion, but that's not everything. We have one more condition to test. Let's imagine that for some reason your car or industrial machine loses its oil filling. To simulate this, we set the oil tap aside and turn the opposite part to a new non-abraded spot. So, we start the machine and begin to pull the handle. You can see that we came to the point of the first jam of condition number 1, then crossing the point of jam of condition number 2 when using oil only. You can see that this time we came much farther without oil than before. Anyways, this may be an extreme situation and it doesn't happen too often, but it can happen and it's better to be prepared, because it can win you some time to solve a difficult situation and save your car or machine from big damage. But we didn't check the opposite part. Let's do it. Now we have 4 abrasion spots here. The first one when running dry, the second one when running with oil only, the third one when using oil plus Megalon, and the fourth one, which should look like the first one since we have run dry too. Well, it doesn't. Since we used Megalon in extreme condition, it got incorporated faster and created a much better protective layer. On the outer ring we can see a shiny line that differs from the rest of the material. This is the metal organic coating, the so-called protective layer. Since we applied the pressure only at one point, we have only one thin line here. But if we would take apart an engine of a car where Megalon has been incorporated, the whole engine will look this shiny. So, this is what Megalon can do for you. It significantly reduces the friction and attrition. It extends lifetime. It also reduces maintenance costs and repairs. Reduces consumption of electricity and fuel. It provides protection at the onset and cold starts of machines, manufacturing and industrial equipment and cars. Thanks to protection coating, equipment is always lubricated immediately. It reduces technological noise of the machinery and equipment. So, I really hope you liked this presentation. If so, please share it and don't forget to visit us.